Oh, welcome to our home on the last Sunday in August. And here's some beautiful roses from the garden. It's still just as beautiful as ever.
Joyce was a little concerned that these are so fully open.
Oh, they are falling, actually.
They're dropping. And I said, it can be a Beauty and the Beast moment.
Okay. All right, so today's little lesson is on being open to miracles happening in your life, and sometimes they don't happen right away, and we could even get discouraged. But the important thing is to hold that possibility of a miracle happening. So from the time I was from the time I was a girl, I had this dream of finding a stray dog, and rescuing the dog and bringing the dog home and giving the dog all this love and contacting the shelter, and eventually, very quickly, the owner would be found, and it would just be such a happy story. Mm-hmm. So where we live in Santa Cruz, there really there are very few stray dogs that are wandering around. Most dogs are really kept on leashes, and the owners are very protective of them. So I hadn't seen a stray dog, but we were finishing up a beach walk. Barry and I, and our son was only 12 at the time, and I saw a stray dog. This little dog was up on the cliff, and it was just shaking all over. And we stayed for a little bit to see if the owners were around. Actually, we stayed for a good half hour. Nobody showed up. No one claimed this dog, and
it didn't have a collar or license.
No, it had no identification. And Barry climbed up on the cliff and carried the dog home, and it was just shaking. And I thought, wow, here's my chance. I can rescue this dog and bring it home, and it'll be just such a beautiful experience. Well, it actually wasn't. This dog, once it got into our home, we had 4 cats at the time. The dog was just chasing the cats and trying to bite the cats, and the cats were terrorized because our dogs, they rule with our dogs, and our dogs know that and get out of the way with the cats. And this little dog was doing the same with our dogs. So we had 3 dogs and 4 cats, and all 7 of our pets were looking at me like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And not only that, but the dog would kind of snap at us a little bit too. So
it was not a very popular house guest.
No, and we fed the dog and brushed the dog, and we named her Lucy. She kind of settled down a little bit. I called the shelter, and they said, if you bring this dog in, there's no room, absolutely no room. You've got to keep her at your home, and we'll make a notice, but you cannot bring her in. So I didn't know what to do, so we kept the dog, and it was 10 days, and nothing was working out for Lucy, and I was really getting discouraged. And our son said, she really needs a magical moment. She really needs some kind of a miracle. It was very clear that Lucy could not stay with us. She even, my elderly mother lived next door, and she would even terrorize her. So I left Lucy in our house, and I went over to visit my mom, and I'm like, do you have any friends that would like a dog? Oh, my mom was 84. She only had a few friends, and they were more like 86 and 88. And nobody wants a new dog at that age. And she said, no. But she said, I do I do have a friend. My mom only had about 4 friends in the area because they had just moved here. I do have a friend, and maybe, I don't know, maybe she knows someone. So she called this woman, Barbara, and the woman said, well, I certainly do not want a dog, but I think my neighbors lost their dog. And she went next door, and in fact, these people had lost a little dog. A little dog had run away from their house. So they came right over, and Lucy was their dog. And they were so happy. Everyone was so happy. It's like I had dreamed of. And apparently Lucy had gotten off her leash and run way too far on the beach and lost all of her identification. And when they called the shelter had lost my information. So they had no means to know, but the miracle was there for Lucy. And we just don't know how the miracle's going to happen in our lives as well. Things might not be seeming to work out. This really wasn't working out with Lucy. But if we just keep hoping and praying and believing in the miracle,
yeah,
it can happen. What were you?
Wasn't we called her Lucy, but her actual name was Lexi.
Yes. Yeah, isn't that something?
Close?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were pretty psychic. You got close to her name. Lucy, Lexi.
So that was actually our only time rescuing a dog from the streets. But it was a really beautiful experience and a beautiful miracle and a beautiful lesson to just keep hoping for that magical, miraculous moment to happen.
I actually just had a miraculous moment a couple of days ago. On Thursday, I was, for a couple of days, I went up into the high Sierras, and I was camped at this really remote hot springs. And early in the morning at sunrise, I went to have a nice soak. And usually I'd be totally alone at this spot. There was a young man in his 30s who was in the pool. And, I just got talking with him, and somehow, I don't know how it came up that he was really deeply, deeply influenced by Ram Dass's words and recordings and writings. And I had to tell him that we had deep connection with Ram Dass and all of these stories and all of this incredible energy. And this man burst into tears, and he said that last night he was so in such a deep, dark despair that he lost faith in his life, and he actually prayed that he could be shown some kind of a sign. And then the next morning early, there I am, with bringing Ram Dass into the hot tub. And he was so deeply, deeply touched. And he told me that he felt this divine energy coming through me, Ram Dass, Maharaji, his guru, coming through. And it just uplifted him so deeply. And I just was sitting there feeling, wow, what a miracle. Again, to be there and to be ready, for transformation. Yeah.
It's a beautiful story. And the interesting thing, Barry went off seeking solitude to be, he said, I'm going to be totally alone. That's what you love.
I like to be alone, yeah. Right.
And here you were, you spend a lot of time with this young man.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
How the miracle's gonna work out.
He was also homeless, and he had quite a story. He got bitten by a rattlesnake, and he got really sick, and it took him a long time. He lost his job, he lost his housing, he lost everything. He didn't have any money, and so I just brought him back to the camper and made him breakfast, and he took me to a beautiful hot springs, and it was a transformational day.
3 days ago.
It was Thursday, and then Friday I came back home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, a little song. I'll sing one line, and if you want, you can sing it again with me. Touch of love is real. Now I can know I am not alone. Now I can know I am not alone. Make this a joyous day. Make this a joyous day. Make this a joyous day today. Close your eyes. Make this a joyous day. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, make it a joyous time. And be ready for the miracles that can come through. Just be open. My favorite prayer is, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, St. Francis's words. And let me just be open to being used as an instrument for love. Okay, you can ask for that anytime, okay? You can open your eyes anytime. You can ask, and it's going to happen. At the least likely time in a hot springs.
Well, we hope you have a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm. Lexi.
Yeah.
Lexi.
I got to have my experience.
Okay. Thank you.